this forum pulled up here. So what got you interested in coaching?
I don't know. Just seemed like not a terrible thing to do.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. All right. So how long you been playing the game?
I played Overwatch 1 when it came out, for like season 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't touch the game, and then I played a little bit of Overwatch 2 when it came out, and then season 2 of Overwatch 2, I like started playing like more.
What hooked you back in?
I started playing Doomfist, and I was like, this character's really fun.
Yeah. Was this so you hadn't played him in Overwatch 1 then?
No, I'd never even seen DPS Doom until like
yeah.
a month ago.
Tragic. What appeals to you so much about the hero? And what, I guess that hero obviously hooked you, so what is it about the hero?
He's kind of goofy. He's fun. I like the high APM, high skill ceiling.
Yep.
I played fighting games. Well, I played Melee, which is like sort of a fighting game, and it's like kind of similar.
yeah. A lot of combos, a lot of speed, APM, like you said, knowing your matchups, all that kind of stuff. Okay, makes sense. So, what do you hope to get out of the session? Structure for improving. Okay, so talk to me about that one.
I don't know. I have days where I'm just like, holy shit, I'm the best player of all time. Not actually, but like you know, I have days where I know what you're saying. I'm like playing good and I'm like happy or whatever, and then like I'll like lose 6 in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this sucks. I hate this.
Right.
I don't know. I get like hard stuck on like the win.
Yeah. Well, the danger with that is obviously it's shifting your focus away from improvement, which I'm sure you're aware of. But the other thing is, did you see this YouTube short? Hang on. I don't know if you've watched my. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You see what I'm saying, though, right? I promise you, that was my first time, and I ended up getting like 9 or 10 out of 12 coin tosses. Ended up tails, I think. And that's the problem, right? Because it could be out of your hands. Now, if you were, let's say, what rank are you right now? Diamond 5?
Diamond 4.
Okay, Diamond 4. Let's say you were a Diamond 1 Doomfist. It would, instead of being 10 out of 12 landing up, it probably would be 8 out of 12, right? You would carry 1 or 2 out of those games, just a little bit more. But you see, the problem with that, though, is you'd still lose more than you'd win for that period of time, right? If you were a Masters or Grandmaster smurfing, you still might lose a handful of games in that period of time because you got that unlucky. So I guess the problem with that isn't just that it's shifting your focus away from doing what needs to be better, but you're depressing yourself for no reason.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so you want a better structure for improvement. What sort of a structure? Talk about like training time, mentality, warm up, a little bit of all the above. What are you thinking?
Kind of all the above. I don't know. I don't really have like an idea of how to improve other than just like warm up, play game, repeat.
Right, makes sense. What do you do right now? How long do you play? What does your warm up look like?
I just warm up on a AIM map. I think it's like VXEAT, and then I don't know. Some days I'll just play like 3 or 4 games. Some days I'll play for a couple hours.
Okay.
And then if I start losing a lot, that's usually when I'll.
Yeah. You see, I'm torn on that approach. Like, you start losing and you start quitting. So the good about that is that you don't waste time with bad practice. Because if you're getting tilted because you're losing, then it's bad practice, right? It's like just, crying through. It's like being 5 years old and doing jumping jacks and you're crying and, in gym class and you're like hating it. I guess 5 years old is a little young, but you get the idea. You're not really trying. But the bad with that, though, is that I think obviously is like, we talked about the association with losing with getting tilted. That's something that we want to improve as well. But also, we would like to get to the point to where you're able to, at least some of the time, be able to work through the tilt. Now, do you know how to do that constructively? Because I have a tip that maybe something you can try.
No, I think I get tilted.
Okay.
Probably. I really don't know why I get tilted. Because some days I don't get tilted at all. Some days I'm like, super like okay with it, and I just like brush it off. But some days it's like, one person says something and then I'm just angry for the rest of it.
Right. Well, it could be somebody saying something that's always a little bit more personal than just losing a couple of games. The other thing is, as well as, this is something that I actually learned a lot working in the Overwatch League was, how a player's quality of play was often correlated with the player's quality of character. So I'm not saying that, you've got a crappy character, but I am saying that like on days where maybe you just had a crappy day period, or you didn't sleep well, or you're kind of irritated at something else outside of Overwatch, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure when you go to play. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't play. You just need to kind of keep in mind that you're in a tenuous spot. And I've noticed that myself. Like I've had days where like things went really, really, really well on stream, or I was feeling really good about the coaching that I did that day, or I slept really well, or had a great workout or something like that. And those days are generally correlated with me playing a little bit better. And even if things get unlucky, like that coin toss, I'm still playing all right. But in days where I'm frustrated stuff, I'm rolling the die about whether I'm going to even be able to train at all,
I've noticed the same thing.
Yeah, and that's what happens. So kind of keeping that in mind. And then also when you do have those tilt issues, when that hits you right in the face, what I recommend trying, and this worked pretty well for me, it's not going to fix anything, but it definitely helps, is trying to take a break, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Cool down, touch grass, get a chore done, do some dishes, make the bed, slap yourself around the face a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Then go back and try one more game. And regardless of whether you won or you lost, you ask yourself, was I able to keep a good attitude? Was I able to at least keep focus? Maybe I played really bad, but I was able to keep focus, whatever. Maybe you played really good and you won the game, but you were still like kind of tilted, distracted. If so, you're done. You gave yourself a chance to reset and come back. You couldn't do it. You're done. If you did reset, we keep going until it happens again. Then we call it, right? So what you're doing by that is you're giving yourself the opportunity to actually push through and learn to kind of adapt. But then obviously if it doesn't work, that's okay. Try again tomorrow. Try again the next day. You kind of see what I'm saying? That's what I would recommend trying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that, and honestly, like I said, just being aware that you may have correlation with IRL and how you felt and how you sleep and all that kind of foolishness. Just being aware of that will kind of help you to set your expectations accordingly, and it prevents you from feeling like, oh, I don't know why I'm so tilted, or I'm just you know why, like at least you have a better idea why. So don't let it bother you too much. Just take care of yourself, I guess, would be the main takeaway. And then the last thing is, obviously, we do try to remember that winning and losing is partially out of your control, largely out of your control. Focus on the percentage of games that you can control. Focus on just playing well every game, whether it's a win or a loss. And that's how you get the greater than 50% win percentage. You just need to play better than the enemy tank over the course of 100, 200, 300 games. And that's how you climb. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then for you, it's like the next point is what do you have to get out of the session? Improving consistency. For you, a lot of your consistency issues may be correlated with that as well. Where games you're just chilling and you're just playing, you're actually playing really well. Games where you're kind of upset or frustrated, it's not just that you're upset or frustrated, that's actually making you play worse. You're not hitting your like even mechanics, right, is correlated with mentality. I don't recommend this, but I knew players that would play better when they were drunk. Mechanically, because they were like, they wouldn't be thinking, they would just be like chilling, and they'd just be like, and they would actually be hitting crazy shots, so like even something as silly as mechanics, which theoretically should be worse when you're drunk, it's actually better because they're getting out of their own way. So just kind of something to keep in mind. So all this makes sense because I know that was a lot of info.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going here. So do you have any questions so far?
I don't think so.
Okay. Short-term hit masters, grandmasters on rank. Well, by the way, first off, well done. I mean, you've only been playing for a couple seasons and you're already in, like, I think the top 10% of players. So that's awesome. Diamond is really, really nice. Long-term, short-term goals in Overwatch. Short-term hit master, grandmaster on ranked. Long-term, maybe find a fun team to play with that tries hard but isn't too serious. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a possibility, both of those things. And then with your training schedule right now, you said sometimes it's 3 or 4 games. Sometimes it's a couple of hours. It really just depends on my attitude. So what we'll do is we'll set the goal for you, if you have the time, to be around an hour and a half to 2.5 hours a day, somewhere around that. Is that doable?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then the goal to get to that goal is to work on your mentality so that that's something that you're able to do. Because I don't want you going, I have to play 2 hours every single day. I have to. And even if I'm tilted, well, no. We need to figure out what's stopping those hours from being productive in the first place, right? Because if you just play, it's not going to make you better if you're super tilted. We need to work at that issue so that you can play with better value more. Okay. And then finding a fun team to play. Yeah. I mean, as you get to a higher rank, you'll be able to find teams that scrim a couple times a week, and it'll be good times. Just advertise as the GOAT Doomfist one trick. You hire an agent, you know, for inquiries, please message my agent, not discussing any salary under 6 figures, you know. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Everybody's going to want that.
Yeah, exactly. How many hours of sleep per night on average? You say 6? ?
My sleep has been kind of all over the place, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I try and keep track of. I do try and keep track of the hours I'm sleeping.
Okay.
But I don't know. Some mornings I'm up super early, and then some nights when I'm not up early in the morning, I'm up super late at night.
Sure. Okay. I wouldn't worry so much about the hours so much as like the quality of sleep that you're getting. You know, it's like I wouldn't worry about tracking it. Just work on getting your habits a little bit better. Because especially when you're playing something that's as mechanically intensive as Doomfist, sleep is going to be important. But don't be a nerd about your sleep. You know what I'm saying? I know, like just sleep. You know, get sleep. Okay. You know, I think it's that simple. Like the only reason I'd track my hours is if I was like, you know, oh shoot, I'm getting like 4 hours of sleep per night. I need to make that number bigger. But like, even then, you don't need to really track it. You know, you're getting 4 hours of sleep. Make it not 4 hours of sleep. You know, it's pretty that simple. Because the thing is like if you get obsessive about it, then you start like, oh no, I gotta sleep. You know, like, who cares? Just sleep more. That's all. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? And you say consistency. We talked a little bit about that, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Like, what do you mean consistency exactly? We talked about that a little bit already, but just if there's anything to elaborate there.
I think like the biggest like weird thing that happens is that like sometimes I just like feel like I forget how to play. Like I will like wake up one day or whatever, or get on one day, and then it's just like for like the whole day I'm like, have I like never played Doomfist before?
Yeah.
Like, it's like it seems like it's out of the blue, and then like I just have to put in like 5 or 6 hours, then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good again.
Yeah. I see that. It kind of ties back into the coin toss thing for me, where the consistent like we talked. The thing with the coin toss was understand that part of that is unavoidable, but part of it is controllable. Let's focus on what we can control and also recognize that part of it's just total RNG, right? The same thing really applies with your own personal consistency, because you're thinking like, oh, don't I have agency over myself, excuse me? No, kind of, sort of, not really. Do you know what I'm saying? Even pros, like this is a huge thing even in Overwatch. Like it's like coaches are like sweating, bullets trying to figure out how to make their players like consistent with their attitudes and communication. And a lot of it comes down to character, like we said, and sleep, and attitude, right? Which is why we put such a big priority on that one earlier. But then also a lot of it's just like, yeah, happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking, these are literal pros. This is their job. And they can't even show up day 1, day 2, day 3 playing at the same level. Just not works. What you can do is you can make it like, okay, we don't have you performing at 50% efficacy days because you've done a better job controlling your attitude and you've done a better job like recognizing when you're going to be inconsistent. So your really bad days are like 65%, right? You can drop the floor. We can, I guess, bring the floor up. Do you see what I'm saying? So you don't have terrible days, okay? And you can also make it so that you hit the ceiling more consistently as well, I think. So I guess for me, it's like that's, again, where it comes back to like your own personal goals, your own personal like progress outside of even Overwatch, like the way that your attitude is, the way that you're, even like we said, sleep, those things as well. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or anything else you want to go over? Because I am in Overwatch here, so we might actually be able to get to the gameplay here.
Let me try logging in again to the game real quick.
It took me a little bit, but I did get in.
Yeah, I've been trying back and forth here. Okay, I'm in as well.
Nice.
Okay, cool. I can, yeah. Yeah, I think I might have had a question, but it left my head, so...
Well, that's what my DMs are for, so you can shoot me a message anytime.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm not like part of the reason I only play Doomfist, it's not because I like hate the other tanks. I just like never feel the need to play any of the others. And I assume it's like okay to one trick, regardless of what
Yeah,
everybody in my
yeah,
ranked games
yeah,
does.
yeah. You can definitely one trick. Yeah, no problems at all. I mean, you'll just have to need to play around your counters a little bit better. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let the person know that we're gonna be shifting things around because we're already here, so let's just go right into your gameplay in just a sec.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, shoot me the code when you get a chance, and then I will stream it. Okay.
So it's a game I played yesterday on Bunny.
Righto.
We lost, but I felt like it was fairly close-ish.
Sure. Pretty good Doom map. A lot
Yeah.
of verticality, a lot of ways of staging up. So
Yeah.
obviously you haven't had as much time to compare the hero, I guess, to other heroes. But from what you know of the hero so far, what are his strengths? What are his weaknesses?
Assassinating supports is great. But squishies in general. You know,
Okay.
punching into an Ana or Zen, getting the kill and slamming out is good.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Punching back choke points.
Yep. Yep.
Survivability.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't play a lot of fighting games, but it feels like a lot of fighting games is like very combo oriented and reading kind of what the enemy gives you. Yeah. So it feels a lot like that. And then obviously like kind of being able to balance your aggression with not overextending yourself at the same time. Because the big thing is that, you're not threatening any kills when you're dead, right? So it's like sometimes it's better to kind of hit that 90% aggression benchmark rather than the 100% aggression, because the 100% aggression may get you killed, and then you want as many 90% aggression cycles as you possibly can, right? Like I'm getting max value, but I don't die for it over and over and over again. But like finding where that 90% is like, that's hard, right? That's the skill. Okay, so I guess one thing that it's just good for tank in general is like looking at enemy comp and just trying to get like a really quick read at it. So you don't have to analyze every single hero, but what are the big ones? What are the ones that you need to be aware of that you think?
Well, if there's an Ana, I need to be aware of the Ana ASAP, because that like basically means I can't go until they sleep a lot of the time.
Right.
That finding out the tank is obviously always important.
Right.
Yeah.
So sleep dart, you see the tank. What do you think of the tank?
Well, I saw that they were playing Monkey here, which is like I think is a good matchup here. But like, what do you mean? What I think of the tank in general?
Like, what do you think of their tank? Sorry, this pick here. Like, what do you think of Monkey?
Oh, like on Numbani, or just like in this matchup versus my team?
Just your matchup versus you. Like, does it affect how you play? Because you're like, it's a good to know the tank matchup. So that's a very astute observation. So what do you do with it?
Monkey feels very killable for me. And I think it's easy to punch him out of his bubble. And he's one of the tanks that I like give more attention to.
Right. There aren't many as Doom, but he is one of them. Right.
Yeah, I focus Monkey more than I would focus like a Reinhardt or an Orisa.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Any last questions before we get in?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's do it. If you do have any, just holler. How's the game volume for you?
I think it's good.
Okay, sounds good. So all looking about at those assassinations, like you were saying, on squishies, tanks, whatever, DPS, or support, excuse me. Always thinking about like aggression, staging, cycles of pressure that aren't compromising my survivability. Like the way I look at Doomfist as well is like the fact that you can threaten kills is what gatekeeps people from taking positions that they want to take. It's a lot of words to say, these guys no go here, right? Because if they go here to kill Brig, to kill your backline, to dive your Ana, they die. Or at least they risk dying, right? That's why I think this high ground position is so important, right? Because that's the position, not just what you want, but it's also the position that their DPS want. Obviously, that needs to hit.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing, too. It needs to hit because you're giving something up by dropping here. I don't think this is a mistake. This is definitely the correct move to make. But the problem here is obviously what happens as soon as you drop here. Think about it from a space perspective.
Junk and Genji in the top.
Right.
Or
and irony here is that he actually ends up being the guy that kills your Brig. But yeah, I mean, look at this. He's getting spammed on your Echo. Their Genji's able to walk forward. They're able to take positions because you gave that position up. Now, was giving that position up a mistake? No, it wasn't. But for you to actually give up that position, you better darn well do something with that. And I will say as well, just a small thing, but be very, very careful about chip damage too. Obviously, like that mine that you took from Junkrat there and then the E afterwards, after he'd already launched it, kind of sucks, right? I mean, look at your HP now. You don't have a lot of grace to work with, I guess, would be a good way of putting it. Grab Mega here. Yep. Nice. Probably leave point here. Punches need to hit. That slam needs to hit. Now this is interesting here. So let's talk a little bit about target priorities, Doomfist, because you brought up a great point that there is a lot of nuance with it, especially in the composition that you're looking at. Junkrat, Brig, Ana, heck, even Winston. We can kill these targets, right? We can really mess these guys up. So what about this situation right here makes you go for Winston and not go for backline? Because I actually think this is the proper play.
I think I wanted to help my Brig.
Okay, but don't look at it from a helping standpoint, respectfully. Because do you know what also hurts your Brig? The enemy Genji, the enemy Junkrat, biotic nade. So it's the same thing we saw earlier where you go to help your Brig versus the enemy Brig, but then the enemy Junkrat gets free space and kills your Brig anyway. Okay? So you're allowing the DPS and enemy supports to take space and kill people, right? But you still go for the monkey. Why?
Well, he's half HP. He's super killable.
Right. So HP is a big one, right? Okay. What else? Look at his position compared to the rest of his team.
Yeah. No help from the Briggs. No help. Ana's around the corner still.
Yeah. Like if this guy was like, here, I would think you're trolling if you went for him, right? Probably trolling. But look at how far he is, and you can very quickly and easily punish that, right? So let's keep watching him. So I think this guy dies. Yeah. Now, is there anybody in the enemy team that's being disproportionately aggressive?
The Brig.
Brig, right? But is Brig the easiest kill?
No.
So who should you go for here? It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I like that the Genji and Junkrat, or the Ana and Junkrat have their back to a wall.
Right. I agree. So that's when we start considering other factors like their position. It could also means that you're going to get an AoE slam here as well. So I would say probably backline here, but again, this is one of the situations where really any of these targets is killable, right? Nobody's like disproportionately aggressive compared to like how attractive they are. So we're probably going to see punch. That's a good punch. Slam needs to hit, obviously. It's a little bit unfortunate. That punch needs to hit too. And I'm saying needs to hit because you're going to miss punches. The best Doomfists in the world miss a lot of their punches, right? But I think in terms of lowest hanging fruit, many of these punches have not felt particularly difficult to land. And if you had landed them, they would have been big impact.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. We're here to find out Nice job. That was good. We're here to find out what's the simplest fixes for you to improve your play. Now, this is kind of a funny. Why punch the Winston? I don't think you were thinking that deeply about it, but why punch the Winston?
I think in my head I was just trying to punch him off high ground.
Sure. You kind of see how you're controlling the space here a little bit, right? Yeah. Nobody gets high ground when you're there. Now that means it shouldn't be here though. Because what's the problem with here?
Well, I gave up the space again.
Okay. Why is that a problem? What would you do from this position?
Jump. I don't know. Full disclosure, I don't entirely understand Briggle, and like how it helps the team, but I don't know.
Don't think about Brig. Think like big picture. Because the thing is like what if they're not on Brig? What if they're on Moira? What if they're on Mercy? What if they're on Doomfist themselves? What if they're on like Overwatch is so complicated, right? And there's so many little hero interactions. I don't want you to worry as much about those. I want you to just worry about the very basic, simple rules of the game, and the other stuff will come with time. So why would you be high ground here? Just think about yourself.
I don't know. I don't have line of sight on any of them, and I'm kind of bubbled off.
Okay. But at some point, you're going to engage, right? Would you prefer to engage from here, or would you engage from here?
Right. Okay.
You see it? Yeah. What's the benefit of this compared to this in terms of the engage?
Yeah. Well, they don't. You're on top of them immediately. They don't see you coming in.
It's just simply the element of surprise, right? And the other thing you have to consider as well is, remember we talked about the Junkrat and Genji foolishness here too? What if somebody comes this position and uses it to go onto your backline, or uses it to go onto even you, right? Your position here is either one of two things. If there's nobody here, you use it and kill their backline. If there is somebody here, you fight them for it. And you're really, really good at knocking people around in high ground, right? So you're either diving backline or you're beating up people that are trying to take the high ground away from you. It's that simple. Does that make sense? Okay. This is just too hard, right?
Yeah.
So your Brig gets the better rally, but nice. This is a good trade. Kill's a kill, right? And I think, it was losable, right? Yeah, don't focus Winston anymore. Okay, well, there's nobody here, so might as well. I like that you looked for Genji there, though, because you're like, oh, Primal Rage, this guy's not killable, where's that Genji? Right? That was really good. All right, go back to top. Yeah, I'd still go back to top. Now, I'm not going to blame you for your Tracer dying, but it's going to talk about a point, let's say, really nicely. Because you were in here, and you're like, let's get some AoE punch. Can you contest this space, realistically?
Not by myself.
Right, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
This is where we're fighting. We cannot fight in here. So if you're in here to just, like, cheese and maybe bait a sleep dart, because you did bait a sleep dart there, farm up a punch, that's all right, okay, because even this punch right there, not that useful, right? There's no follow-up from your team, okay? But the problem here is this.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like, is that your fault here? Maybe, maybe not. Your Tracer should have won this duel, And it is an echo, but you can say, no, you can't do this. Go away, right?
Yeah.
And you can still, from this position, after doing that, punch them when they walk out. Because the irony here is that you can actually only punch them when they walk in front of your team, which is exactly what you want to do anyway, right? You want to hit them here, not here. Does that kind of make sense? So now you're thinking, oh, echo. But now that was good. Now, why is this good? What's happening directly behind you and to your left?
The tank is gone, so they're more killable.
Right, so there's stuff trading here, right? Your team can shoot something, right?
Yeah.
Your team can shoot something, right? So you trading and controlling these three people by yourself while your team is taking a 2v1, while you're dealing with the echo, That's very good, right? That's very good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's good. Very good. And if you're mechanically better, they might have even died, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this fight was pretty much cooked because your Tracer died initially, which was your fault. But this controlling their backline when the fight is happening elsewhere, even if you don't get the kill, sometimes you're not going to be able to get the kill, right? That was fine. That was really good. Just needed to start that fight off in better circumstances by controlling space. What's the mistake there, right? Because we've talked a lot about these like esoteric, complicated, philosophical terms. What was the mistake?
I mean, I missed shots.
Right.
Leona should have died.
Before that.
I wasn't paying attention to the echo behind, and
right.
then
And what were you doing instead?
farming damage.
Right. You weren't thinking, where is my team position? Where do we want to fight?
Yeah.
And then going for crazy combos once they cross that line, once they cross into your space. Now, if you're on attack, you would only push it. Let's say that you're on attack and your backline was the one stuck in the choke. When would you actually start to aggressively take space and farm the enemy team? It's a little tricky, right?
Yeah. I mean, it'd usually be if somebody was alone, if somebody was by themselves, and they were easily killable, and I knew I could get back in time.
Oh, sure. How about this right now? We're walking out of choke right now. Do you know where your backline is right now?
No.
Okay, you need to. Why?
Because I need to make sure they don't die.
Where can they help you? Right now. Look at their position. Where can they help you? Can they help you here?
Basically up to right where I am.
Right,
so
right.
yeah,
So here. So here. They can help you here. They can help you here and here and here. But can they help you here? No. Okay, so you're going to walk forward and you're going to contest that space. Is there an Echo there? Is there a Widow here? Is there a Diva here? Okay, nope. We're just walking forward. We're walking forward. Okay, they're on Widow now. Great. Okay, now look at your backline. Now where they can help you. More, right? Now they can help you here and here. Keep like you are essentially a dog on a leash, right? You can do one of two things. You can either let them walk you or you can pull them along. But you can't break the leash. You have to know where they can help you and when they're fighting and when they're not. So right now, we're walking. And so you can't always be looking behind you. But like right now, turn around. What do you see?
Yeah.
They're walking. Give them a second. Okay, our Tracer's dead. But you know whose fault this was? This was your Tracer. Because she wasn't aware of her backline. She was just doing stuff. Right? Look at this. No. I mean, it was no. Backline's over here. Wait for them to walk forward, and then we start going in crazy. Right? You're doing a good job, but I don't know if you're doing it on purpose. You know, it's funny thing here is that this is a situation where, like, is this somewhat reasonable? Maybe, right? At least your supports can do something, right? Unfortunately, here it's just you're already down to. Blaze rally, that was nice of them. Okay, this fight's lost. Classic Numbani. Didn't even get a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, she's trolling. She wants it. Good, right? Good. A little bit of greed. Farm that punch. Then you back off, right? Looking at your supports. You know, this is where we're fighting. This is really good, right? Now, this one is tricky, right? Because you're like, well, my supports are super far back. Are they going to be able to follow up here? What do you think?
I don't know. I think in my head I was fine and they were fine.
Sure.
I was like, I don't think they're gonna die to Diva Bomb. I don't think I'm gonna die here.
Okay, sure. You've got covered. Just something to be aware of. Just something to be aware of. It doesn't have to be something that you always think about, but it's something to work at. Right now, look at your Tracer. Your Tracer's in. You're in. Our backline is MIA, but surely they'll walk forward soon. So like even now, I would take that information and be like, all right, I'm gonna chill for a sec. Right? Okay, now we're here. Let's walk. Backline's with us. Let's go. Who should you be focusing right now?
The Echo that's killing my team.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with her killing her team. Look at her aggression. Look at her backline's aggression.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
you have done your job. Look at these guys; they're running for their life. They're running. They're completely out of the fight. Then turn around and focus the back line or the
Yeah.
front line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've done your job. You don't have to keep chasing her because now you're the one overextending like that Echo is. Especially like right now, like your Tracer keeps making the same mistake.
Yeah. I think in my head I get a pick here and then I ult out, but
You didn't even need to ult though. Is my point. It's like your ult gets forced by your poor choices here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, theoretically, you were zoning backline there, but I think the backline was already zoned, right? You've already done your job. You force them out, then turn force tank. And if the backline gets aggressive, then you go back and turn focus on the backline. I like this a lot. Need to hit that punch. Probably not what I would have done with Nano. I get what you're saying, what you're doing here, because you're like, shoot, what do I do here? Like, do I go for backline, but they might have sleep dart? It's kind of awkward, right? But you got to be careful, right? More of a mistake forced that Nano than anything else. That's just not a good use of your cooldown, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So what should you be doing right about now?
I don't know. I think I need to take a second here.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think I would probably slam up top here and just for disengage, and then what do you do?
Get heals and then try and use my charge punch against the wall in that hallway.
Yep. Or even consider going for yet another hard flank, right? This just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Fortunate. Good shots. Good punch. Good slam. Lots of AoE value there, but unfortunately, like the value there early on was just too low. Okay, let's keep watching. Do you have any questions so far? We've talked about a lot of stuff. We'll condense it as time goes on.
Yeah, I just like finding the right times to engage.
It's
difficult.
That punch needs to land.
And missing punches.
Yeah, too many of these punches and point blank range. Now, the reason why I'm questioning this a little bit is because you're missing easy punches.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know that it's definitely mechanics.
Yeah.
Halfway. But I also think it's a little bit of focus too. This is something that I was working with an Ana player literally yesterday. Masters Ana player. Hit some crazy anti-nates that were like really hard to land and was choking on like the easiest stuff in the history of the universe. That seems to be a little bit of you as well. Does that line up with your experience or not so much?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what's the solution?
Just don't overthink the close punches and just punch them.
Yep, just punch them. Just take an extra second if you need to. Just chill, hit the punch. I mean, this is just obviously kind of sucky because it's like I can't leave point, but that Widow is just doming everybody. Kill 6, let's go. That's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, we knew it's gonna happen. Okay. Looking a little bit at your awareness of when you should be engaged, like where your backline, like where your team is set up, essentially, and kind of playing around that. Not choking on the easy punches. What else are we looking at here?
Controlling space better.
Sure. Prioritizing the right targets based off of who's being aggressive, right?
Yeah.
Not pushing through chokes. Because that one's kind of the same as knowing where your backline is, so you know what space you should control, and then from there deciding which target is easier to kill / which target is going most aggressive, then decide from there.
Okay, so I have a question. When do you and how do you make the decision between, okay, I'm gonna keep pressing and making space here, or I'm going to go kill this person? Like the example with the Echo earlier, like, do I keep like controlling the tunnel, like on third point, or do I go back and kill the Echo?
Well, let's go back
and make sure the Echo dies 100%,
right.
or let my
Let's go.
team do it.
Let's go back to that exact fight then. Okay. I think it was this one here. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Why do you? What are the benefits and drawbacks out of what you're doing right now? What do you think? What about this battlefield means go back to Echo to you?
Well, I don't know. Echo could feasibly live here. Like, I don't know if a Brig and our Echo is like absolutely gonna win this fight.
Right.
And
Who's
then
more
it's
of a
like
threat to your team? Who's more killable? The Echo in your backline or the Ana Brig in their own spawn, basically?
definitely the Echo is more killable.
Right. And she's also simultaneously more of a threat, too, because of her positioning. See, my thing is, my problem here is if this Ana Brig were like here, right? I don't know. Do we ignore the Ana Brig? Probably not. I think that they would help and heal the Echo and kill your team, right? You need to force them back. The problem was is then once they were basically very far away, you kept pursuing instead of just simply killing what you had already isolated. Do you remember the monkey on first point when you went back and you focused the monkey? Remember that? Remember that entire conversation we had about like why are you not going for backline here? You're like, well, he's feeding. I mean, look at him. Look at the backline. Look, he's feeding, right? Same kind of thing here. So for you, it's like when people are playing ridiculously safe or running away from you and you can't kill them, take that opportunity to kind of be aware of your surroundings and see what you can kill instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all there is really to it. It's just an understanding like, okay, these guys I have forced out. Now what do I do? Okay, we got punch. Honestly, no. I don't like this that much.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but because you do end up having a Mei wall with it, but you have punch. You have this crazy mobility. First off, are your supports with you?
No.
I mean, we don't even know, right? Like it ends up being that our Zenyatta's a little late, right? So if you're going to do this, when would you do it?
I with my team.
Right now, right?
Yeah.
Just 2 seconds later, significantly better because you get Zenyatta help. Okay, where should you do a play like this as well? Because what's the problem with what you're doing here?
Well, it's not the charge punch isn't gonna punch anybody into a wall.
Okay.
Realistically, so it's not. It's kind of a waste of a charge punch.
What are the advantages of mobility?
You can get in, get out.
What are the other advantages of mobility? Let me ask you, if I'm Reinhardt, can I fly to the high ground?
No.
Right? I would love as Reinhardt to not have to worry about D.Va and to just threaten kills on the people that I'm good at killing, right? You're good at killing Anas and Torbs and Briggs and things, right? But what's the first thing that you see walking out of this choke? Torb, but he's a million miles away. Brig, but she's too far away with no wall. And then there's a big, fat, ugly D.Va right in front of your face. Right? That's the problem. So once again, you have mobility. What are you going to do with it?
Go around.
Sure, why not? Try it. What would you do here mechanically, like combo-wise? What would you do?
I definitely cancel my punch and punch them either into the hallway.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could also just punch them off.
Just off high ground. Yeah.
Right, punch them off. You have your block. Your team walks out of the choke at the same time. You're good to go. Right? And that's what we're looking for here. That's what we're looking for. You take no damage because you use cover and you come from a surprise angle. You get them off of high ground, and then there you go. And then if you look through walls and you see, hey, my Zenyatta is walking through the hallway now I can go, then we're good to go.
Yep.
It's about playing as a team, but not with your team.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. It's a good wall from your Mei. Forces a nice isolation, buys you some time. So you're going to live this, surely. Oh.
Yeah.
Disaster. You know. Yeah. Okay, let's keep watching. Did that make sense to you, right?
Yes.
So I think that's a very actionable goal, is try to take off angles on your engages, Doomfist, leverage your mobility that way, but still time it around your team. And you do that so that you can actually access the targets that are better for you. Instead of having to go through all the crap at the front line. Like, imagine if they're on Reinhardt here or Orisa. I mean, it'd just be awful. It'd be even worse than what it is now. Where's your backline?
I don't think I know.
Yeah, that's a good. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. This is probably okay. It's a low risk thing. You're just kind of waiting. May I go for a quick punch?
I don't know about that one.
You see your Zen's just now getting there too. A lot of fighting, and like this is gonna happen in mid to low ranks as well. Like people are just gonna take fights when you're down, so you're gonna have to use your judgment. But try to fight with the majority of your team. I would have played that one a little bit safer. So we at least we're not the definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and over and over again. Right? Yeah. We're trying to adapt here. Power punch. I mean, yeah, the idea was there, right?
Yeah.
If you get that punch there, maybe a different story. You know, I don't know. I guess my other problem here is, okay, let's actually look at this here. So your team is going to go with you because you're doomed. But I will say, no, I think we're timing this okay. I think we're timing this okay. I mean, like our backline has stuff to shoot. It's just going to be on them to try and like actually take space at the same time. It just sucks that we've used both of our cooldowns. Really all of our cooldowns, right? We don't have our charge yet either. So maybe that was something that you could have done better here. Once you got your punch here, try to wait for a few more seconds on your charge punch. Or on your E, excuse me. And then obviously hitting that punch as well would have helped. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? We're kind of rolling right through.
I don't think so. I think I got quite impatient though.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
I think I was starting to go on tilt here.
Yeah.
I mean, there was also like a lot of shit talk on this team, so
yeah.
I think that might have resulted in impatience.
Yeah. So again, just kind of coming directly from the front, right? It ends up working out fairly decent because we're able to bypass the front line and just go right to back, but still shaky-ish. Look for that Ana. She's dead. Nice. Nice. Good play. Nice work. I mean, it's first point in Umbani, right? It's miserable. Questionable. These guys. That was one of the weirdest recontests I think I've ever seen in my life. Guy goes out here, copies Widowmaker. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Honestly, it's a really good trade for you guys. If you guys can finish even one more kill, yeah, that was huge. Yeah, that was huge actually. Like they used everything. Okay. Literally everything. All right, set up. What are you thinking now? Who do you want to dive?
Zarya makes life kind of hard for me. I don't really know how to play against Zarya. But I mean, honestly, my only targets at this point are Brig and Ana.
Yep. Here's how you play versus Zarya.
I mean, Widow, obviously.
Right.
But...
Force her to bubble everybody but herself. Okay. So then what that does is obviously it does kind of mess up your dive, but generally a Doomfist diving a bubble doesn't provide a lot of charge. Right? As opposed to just random spam on her. So then what does that mean when she bubbles somebody else? And then maybe bubble somebody else again?
She is vulnerable.
She's naked, right? She's in serious problems, right? And then anything that your Zenyatta or Echo or Lucio throws her way, she just dies. Avoid Zarya. Do not let her beam you at all. A bubble away keeps the Zarya away or something. Now here, the question is, I'm focusing Zarya because she's the only one playing aggressively, right? Well, maybe. What does aggression look like from Widowmaker?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Now, Widowmaker might be playing aggressively up here. This is still aggressive for a Widow. Just because she's a ranged hero doesn't mean that this isn't aggressive, right? This is exactly what aggression from range looks like, right? Like, if, for example, like a Reaper playing here would be very passive, right? A Widowmaker playing further back would be very aggressive for a Widowmaker, right? So for you, it's like you're focusing on the wrong target here. She's not feeding. She's staying within her Widow LOS. Oh, by the way, I actually think Sombra, you can really ruin her day. It's a skill matchup for sure, but like if you go around like on angles on these links to hunt her translocator, and you're able to punch cancel her attempt to hack,
Yeah.
you instant locator every time.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this respectfully is exactly what we want you to do, right? Widow's going aggressive, Ana's walking forward, no, out. Then you go back and you turn on Zarya. This is what you need to be doing. Now, she's going to kill your backline anyway, but that's not your problem. Oh, dear. This is questionable. Yeah.
I got a little lost.
At least you got the Zarya. You got the Zarya, though. That's good. That's exactly what the strategy was.
Again, I think I was not aware of where my team was.
Right,
I thought
right.
Zarya was dead and I could ult in.
Right. So, like, how much of this is, you know, you being tilted versus you need to work on the skill? I think it's probably 50-50.
Okay.
Where, you know, you need to be aware of your team's positioning and then also work on the attitude so that, because as soon as you get tilted, your awareness is going to, you know, you're not going to be thinking about any of this crap, right? So that's just so stupid. Like, I don't know what Blizzard was thinking. It tilts me to know it. It's the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen. Stupid Brig Shield. It's dumb as well. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's not even like OP or anything. It's just dumb. Like, it's just dumb. Okay, this is also bad crap insane. Nice engaged, right? She's playing way too aggressively. What should you do right now? Look at your cooldowns. Look at your HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tuck in. Wait. Play around your cooldowns. Play around your cycle. You've done your job. Congrats. Now wait. 3, 2, 1. Do it again. And you also have an excellent staging ground to do it even better now because you have high ground. You're just bleeding HP for no reason here. Wait, well, maybe you had the touch. Yeah. You could have touched. Yeah. No, you're right. That's sucky. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. Okay, so let's talk. Goals for Doomfist. What did you see? We talked about a lot of things. So the challenge is going to be the prioritization more than anything else, right? So what are your priorities?
I think first and foremost, mechanics need to be a little sharper, especially that game. A lot of missed punches.
Specifically, the missed easy punches, mechanics or focus. You know? I'm not sure. That's something to kind of be aware of, you know. Is you just hit the easy ones. There was a lot of like really, really easy ones that you were missing, but whenever you slam canceled, you won. you know? So I really am wondering if it was like a heightened sense of focus that you get when it's something more challenging and versus the easier ones you just kind of brain off. I don't know if it's a choke or if it's a brain off because they look the same to me. They could either be you're just not even trying and therefore you mess up the easy stuff and you need to, you know, focus a little bit more, or maybe you're thinking too much and you choke the easy ones because you're overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? It's like those major, you know, those PGA golfers, you know, they miss like the 1 foot putt. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's not a lack of focus. That's just you know, overthinking it. Okay. What else did you see? Talked about a few things.
Well, positioning and target priority, being aware of my backline.
Positioning in regards to what? What about your positioning?
Like who can I feasibly kill or push back while also like not, you know, ignoring my backline.
Right. Who's most aggressive relatively within my team's fighting area? There's a term that I use a lot called the line, which is essentially like this is where we're fighting, right? Now, let me hang on, let me stream again. So like if we're like, let's say that you're team red here, right? Where's the line for team red? Like where are they fighting? Are they fighting here?
No.
Actually, yes. See, this is the problem. This is the thing.
Okay.
Look at your Zarya, look at your Torb, look at your Ana LOS, look at your Widow LOS. They can fight here, right?
Yeah.
They can fight here. They can fight here. They can fight here. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about here?
No.
A little tricky, right? But still feasible. What about here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What about this choke right here?
Yeah, for sure.
What about this choke here?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this choke here?
No.
No. Do you see that? That's why it's very important, because when we think about like a specific area we're going to fight, it never works out like that, does it? Because they're going to come from here, they're going to come from here, they're going to come from here, they're going to roll on this high ground, right? But you just need to know where your team's LOS is, right? So if I'm coaching this Torbjorn and this Ana, I'm thinking this is like our general vicinity of fight. This is not, right? So for you, it's like, especially you're playing such a hypermobile hero, you don't necessarily need to punish the choke, right? You just need to know where is the general vicinity, the bubble of my team's positioning, and so then kind of playing to control and punish people around that area. Does that make sense? Even if your team can't follow up on the same target, it doesn't matter. You 1v1 somebody when your bubble is being encroached upon. Okay, so what else did we want to... Being aware of your team's positioning, I think, was a big one. Because how do you know who to focus when you don't know where your team is? You know?
Yeah.
Just being aware. Just being aware. Okay, anything else? I got one more. Oops. Didn't mean to press enter there. Play around cooldown cycles.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible. It was fine. But it's honestly something as Doomfist that you're going to need to work on until the day you die. Until you become the greatest Doomfist in the history of the universe. Like it's always relevant to play around those cycles. You know, I have this, I can do this. I don't have this, I need to wait 1.5 seconds so that I can actually do, you know, this, right? Obviously, you know, like charge punch resets punch cooldown, you know, the cooldowns 5-6 seconds, all those kind of things. But being aware of that, then using your ultimate to recharge those cooldowns, you need to play around that, maximize your uptime, minimize your downtime. But if you're going in with no cooldowns, your downtime's going to be huge because you're going to be dead. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So if you do have any questions come up, shoot me a message.